Hi guys, it's Karen from the Beyond IVF Baby channel. I'm so glad you're here. I'm not sure if you heard the recent report. It was a story that aired on the Fox National Network, and it was titled something like Designer Babies. And basically, they're discussing the ethics of it. And the whole premise is, basically, is it ethical to do IVF for the sole reason to change or to determine um, the desired eye color, perhaps different characteristics like height, and going above and beyond that. So honestly, those options have been around for a long time. If you could find the doctor or the reproductive endocrinologist that is willing to do it for you, because with the um, genetic testing that is done beforehand to eliminate fatal or problematic um, diseases, you get to learn a lot about insightful information about yourself as well as your partner or spouse. So, in that regard, that is meant to help arm your chances of having a more successful um, IVF and taking home your baby, or at least knowing what the uphill battle is, and in terms of how many IVF cycles you might need to avoid perhaps something detrimental, like cystic fibrosis, or something that's not yet with the cure. I understand now some genetic um, problems can be overcome, such as sickle cell. So you can be born with sickle cell and you can not have an early demise if you're not able to do bone marrow treatments and, overcome it through remission. There is now like a genetic different type of um, way to cure it. Of course, it doesn't work for everyone. So, kind of going ahead of all of that before you even have the baby, if you go ahead and implant an embryo that doesn't have, like, let's say, one of these issues, you're going to have, we hope, a healthier child. Now, the whole premise is that people are going to flock to see the reproductive endocrinologist because, oh, they want a certain height, they want a certain IQ, they want a certain eye color, and all these things. Um, I think for the immediate term, the average American or person is kind of struggling right now. Inflation still exists, and IVF, there is no insurance mandate. It doesn't necessarily work on the first attempt. And if you're going to start excluding otherwise healthy embryos just for the reason that, oh, well, the embryo doesn't have blue eyes, or the embryo doesn't have curly hair, or the embryo is not going to be at least 6 foot, you're really going to limit yourself. And then there's the whole ordeal of IVF. It involves at least two parties because you need sperm and you need egg, and you have to, plan that perfectly around the reproductive endocrinologist and the scheduling of all that. So it's not on your schedule. You have a lot of hoops, a lot of tests, a lot of blood draws. So honestly, unless you're the ultra rich, I don't see this happening anytime soon for the general population. So I kind of see this as a non issue. So for celebrities, sure, that might be a possibility. And since I myself did IVF with clinics around the world for more than 10 years, I'm going to tell you only once did I hear a conversation in the clinic where it was a healthy couple that they were there because they wanted to have a son. They had like 3 or 4 girls, and they wanted to have a son. So IVF was a way to do that. What they did with their embryos, I don't know. Because when you have excess embryos that are healthy, you have options. You can either store them for future use, you can destroy them, or you can donate them to science so that um, other reproductive endocrinologists and medical personnel can learn more about it. So I'm curious what you think about all this. Do you think designer babies is something that's really going to take off, at least for the common everyday person? Maybe the 2 to 5% of the population will partake in it, but that's certainly not the majority. So I don't see it as being an issue. I feel like Fox was kind of struggling for something to talk about, so they just chose to take a look at IVF and go the route of designer babies. But share your thoughts. I love to hear what you say. Until next time, I'll see you again on the Beyond IVF Baby channel. Bye bye.